What's good, Falcons family? It's your guy CG Man, and we are back on Falcons Friday with more Falcons Daily for you. And again, thank you so much for tuning in today. Let's go ahead and start chopping it up. All right, we were listening and watching a little bit of Michael Vick on the Falcons podcast here on the Atlanta Falcons podcast network. He was sitting in with Will McFadden of AtlantaFalcons.com, and in Mike Vick's opinion, he was over there visiting at Flowery Branch, taking a look at the offense and defense, getting a feel for how practices and training camp and all those things are going to run. Again, if you remember correctly, Michael Vick, now the new head coach at Norfolk State, so he's over there checking things out, and he was saying how what Raheem Morris and some of the staff were doing is very similar to what he does, walking around, checking on different sections of the team, the offense, the defense, the special teams, different position groups and whatnot. But really what was intriguing to me was he was asked about the offense of the Falcons, and he thought the Falcons offense was going to break out in 2025. But do you guys think the Falcons offense can break out this year? It's very possible they can, but let's go back and look at some of the numbers from last season. So give you an idea of where the Falcons are going to be starting from in terms of what we would consider a breakout, okay? So in 2024, the Falcons scored just under 23 points a game. They were sixth in total offense. They averaged just under 23 points a game. That was middle of the road for the team. But again, they were sixth in overall yards. They were fifth in rushing, fifth in passing, 10th in rushing. Points scored 13th overall, but again, the biggest problem for the Falcons really was red zone. They did not finish well in the red area. Again, they were 20th in the league in finishing in the red zone. You definitely want to see that number improve. Again, looking at some of the rushing numbers, I mean, you can't really complain about that, but the pass play percentage, they threw the ball a good amount. They were 24th in the league in pass play percentage. Over 50% of their plays last year were passing plays, and that was we want to see a little bit more of a better balance, if possible. When it comes to the Falcons breaking out, I mean, they can. Everything I've seen and heard is that, Mike Penix looks more comfortable in his second year in the offense under Zach Robinson, throwing touchdown passes in practice. And, of course, you still have all your weapons from last year, except for Rondale Moore, who, again, did not even really suit up for the Falcons in terms of gameplay. Remember, he was injured in training camp, but Rondale Moore has now moved on. But you still have the guys you had from last year, for the most part, of course, Drake and Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod. You still have those guys, Kadero Hodge, and in the backfield, of course, you have the Thunder and Lightning combination of Bijan and Magnum TA, Tyler Algier, and, Kyle Pitts when Kyle Pitts comes back. And your offensive line is still intact from last season. Again, new starter at center with Ryan Newsel taking over for Drew Dalman, who left for Chicago. So there's some question marks there. Can the line play consistent, with the new piece in the middle? I mean, he's not really a new piece. He's more of an older piece. He's been there, but, over the course of a 17-game season, see how those things shake out. But I think the Falcons have a good point to start from here. I mean, 22 points a game. You're going to need to score a whole lot more than that if you want to get to where you need to go. If you want to win the NFC South, you're going to need to score at least 26 points a game, I would think. Got to get at least one more touchdown or field goal on the board each game to give yourself that much of a chance to win. But the offense can break out. I mean, they do have the skill players. They do have the blocking. And again, they've got the scheme, the play callers. They've got everything they need to do it. They just have to do it when their number gets called. So I'm going to sit here with Mike Vick and say, yes, I think the Falcons offense can break out. I think there's more points out there than 23 a game. Again, we'd like to see them right around 26, 27 points a game. That would give you a much better chance of trying to win this NFC South. Now, is Terry Fontenot in trouble, y'all? That's one thing I want to talk to you guys about, too. We are now in year 5 of Terry Fontenot, and we have not had a winning season at all under his regime. And not putting that on Terry, but he does have to do his part, of course, to help the Falcons. And with this year being his 5th year, and again knowing that there's not been any winning seasons, knowing that there was somewhat of a project coming into this. Where do you lie with Terry Fontenot? I mean, again, remember he came to the Falcons in 2021 with Arthur Smith. His record as a GM right now is 21. He's 29-39 as a GM right now in the NFL. So 29-39, we're 10 games below 500 with Terry Fontenot. So let me know in the comments how you feel about the job he's done. I think he's done a pretty decent job. Remember, we started off in salary cap hell when he got there. I mean, we had the big albatross contracts of Matt Ryan, Desmond Trufant, Julio Jones, and others who's we had to get out underneath those contracts before the Falcons could start to make moves in free agency and start to rebuild the roster. So I do think this is a big year for Terry. Now that you're out of salary cap hell, now that you've got your quarterback, now that you're starting to build the defense and put pieces around him, this is a year where now the Falcons need to take a step forward and start winning more ball games. And if they don't win more ball games, then I think Arthur Blank is going to start putting the microscope on Terry Fontenot and figuring out, is this the right general manager for my franchise? I mean, Raheem Morris feels like he's here to stay for at least the time being, of course, But I think for Terry, because this is his 5th year on the team, I think for Terry Fontenot, this year is a very important year. You look at his draft picks and his draft history, and, look at his first-round picks, Kyle Pitts in 2021, Drake London 2022, Bijan, Michael Penix, and then Jalen Walker. So those are strong first-round picks, I think. Then you look at some of the deeper rounds as well. Do we have players who produced in those deeper rounds? Drew Dahlman, a 4th-round pick, no longer with the team. TQ Graham is still there with the Falcons as well. We still have guys on the roster. Tyler Algier, another 5th-round pick, still with the team. D'Angelo Malone, Troy Anderson, a 2nd-round pick in 2022. Clark Phillips, 4th-round pick, 2023. DeMarco Helm still on the team as well. Zach Harrison. I thought the 2023 draft was really strong. Every single one of those guys are still on the team right now. And then last year's draft, Michael Penix, Ruka Roro, Braylon Trice, J.D. Bertrand got some run last season as well. Casey Washington, wide receiver, another guy you have to keep your eyes on here in camp. Again, 6th-round pick for the Falcons out of Illinois. So the jury's still out on some of these guys from last year and really from 2023, but also, we'll be looking to see what the 2025 draft picks do as well. But, of the drafts he put together, I mean, honestly, I think the strongest one of them all right now, I mean, you look at his 2023's draft is probably the strongest of those drafts in this, of all of them right now. You have basically 3 guys who could start for you. Clark Phillips is a guy who could start. Matthew Bergeron is starting, and of course, Bijan Robinson, the top of the draft class for the Falcons that year. But also, he's managed the salary cap pretty well. He hasn't, outside of the Kirk Cousins contract, he's done fairly well. I mean, the Falcons right now sitting at, they have the 6th least amount of caps, the 6th least amount of dead money on their salary cap out of all the teams right now. It's the Bears, the Bengals, Steelers, Colts, Cardinals, and then Atlanta. Falcons have just over $7.5 million in dead money. And that's actually it's a good thing considering where we came from, 2-3 years prior. That was we're in a much better spot right now. And then when it comes to, right now the Falcons are listed to have no dead money in 2026. So they're, again, going to be in a good spot right now to make some moves and, hopefully continue to improve the roster. But I think if Terry Fontenot and the Falcons have another losing season or another underwhelming season where we're, toiling around 2nd and 3rd in the NFC South, not really in contention for winning the division or in contention for a wild card spot, then I think, once again, that will put the onus on Arthur Blank to start looking a little bit harder at Terry Fontenot. On to our next subject, the next topic for today. Has any Falcon on this roster, in your mind, outplayed their current contract situation? 2 or 3 guys come to mind when I think of that right now. The first of which, Tyler Algier is the first player I think of that comes to mind in terms of people who've outplayed their contract. Right now, he's scheduled to make right around $1.1 million for this season. And again, remember, he was a 1,000-yard rusher when he first stepped into Atlanta. He was already a 1,000-yard guy, and then we drafted Bijan on top of him. So remember, he went for, again, Tyler Algier went in 2022. He went for a buck, and then we added Bijan right there the year after that. And also 10 touchdowns as well. So I think Tyler Algier is definitely deserving of a contract extension. Hopefully the Falcons will grant it to him and he will stay in Atlanta, and we can have this Thunder and Lightning lineup that we're used to seeing. I would love to see him stay and continue that. Don't want to have to be looking and toiling around in the free agent market for someone to replace him. But Tyler Algier is the first guy I could think of who's outplayed his contract. Second guy, I mean, it's probably an obvious one if you think. I think Jesse Bates has completely outplayed his contract. You can give him a raise right now if you ask me. Go ahead and sew that up and give him a couple extra bucks. But again, for my money, Jesse Bates don't need a whole lot of explanations as to what he's been doing. 10 interceptions, a couple of touchdowns as a Falcon in his first couple years. Show him the money. Just show it to him. Excuse me, guys. But yes, in my opinion, those are the two guys who I think who've above and beyond anyone else who has outplayed their contract, what they're currently getting paid. And if they went to Terry Fontenot and said, hey, I'd like a raise, I don't see why they should not get it. But those are the two guys off the top of my head, and I would love to see them both stay in Atlanta for a long time to go, especially Tyler Algier, knowing that this is his last year in a Falcons uniform if they do not re-sign him. So got to get that done. Got to keep Magnum TA in Atlanta for a little bit longer if you can. And again, right now, Falcons are scheduled to have no dead money. They should have a good amount of money to spend in 2026. But again, we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. You don't want to rule any situation out. But I also think that Jalen Walker has some expectations this season as well. Looking at some comments that were made by Terry Fontenot, by Raheem Morris about Jalen Walker during OTAs, and talked about he was kind of like a coach on the field and just does everything right the first time around. Very easy to coach is one of the things that he was called. And what are the expectations for Jalen in his first season? What do you want to see from him? Is he do you want to see him as a 3-down edge rusher? Do you want to see him sprinkled in as a designated pass rusher? Do you want to see him hit the field and be moved around like a chess piece? I think in the beginning for rookies like Jalen Walker, let them do what they're capable of doing, but also let's simplify the job for them as well. How about making things a lot simpler for him? Hey, just master this one thing and then we'll move on to the next thing. But the way he learns, the way he studies, and the way he applies his game has been complimented over and over again in Flowery Branch. And that's what helped get him there, because of all the work ethic that he put in at Georgia, doing the things that he needed to do there. So I think expectations for Jalen, really just learn, grow. I'm not so worried about like, hey, you got to have X number of sacks or X number of tackles or what have you. Number one, just stay healthy. Number two, excuse me, guys, I'm so sorry. Number one, got to stay healthy. Number two, got to keep your eyes and your ears open, and then just follow the vets. And then number three, just practice hard, play hard, give everything you got. And then I think that'll lead the way for Jalen Walker right there. Again, for me, I want to see him keep it simple, just rushing off the edge or just kind of moved around in, maybe one spot or two spots here. Don't want to tip off too much of what you're going to do or create too much film to where teams know exactly where he's going to be and then where he gets neutralized. But again, too much too soon could really fill the plate up for the rookie and could also cause that plate to runneth over and be a little bit too overwhelming. So I think he's been impressive so far, just from the things I've seen and read, and I want to see him continue to grow, but at a slower pace. I mean, slow and steady wins the race. We don't have to put him in the gold jacket immediately. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in again right here with us on Falcons Daily. Please give me a follow at Craig G Sports, CRAIG, the letter G and the word sports. Sorry for yawning. Been up late doing a whole lot of other things, Falcons related, not Falcons related. So a little sleepy today, but we're going to try to make it up this afternoon sometime if we possibly can. But again, please give Fan Arch Co. a follow as well, and we will see you this weekend with some more Falcons Daily. Be kind, be great, sayonara, and buenos noches.